Pablo teacher is speaking right now. And we're talking about the vital functions in the living things. This is the new topic for the second period of the school. And this is going to be a flipped classroom. What does it mean flipped classroom? Easy. I am going to show you the class. You're going to watch it in your home before the real class, the real time we have. You are going to take notes, and when we are on classes, on my class, you are going to ask every questions you have in order to have some solutions if you have any questions, so we can have the time to do the activity as well. So if you understand all of this, please let's continue. Now, every living being and every cell in the multicellular living beings is able to carry out 3 vital functions. Okay, the 3 vital functions are 1, nutrition, interaction, and reproduction. Okay, in nutrition, interaction, and reproduction, there are 3 different activities that every living thing on earth does. We're talking about animals, we're talking about vegetables, we're talking about human beings. Now, the first one is nutrition. So on nutrition, we have this. What is nutrition? Okay, nutrition consists of taking in matter and energy in order to grow, survive, and reproduce. It's the first activity we do to live. Every living thing has to eat to have energy. When we talk about nutrition, we're talking about eating. Eating is something delicious. Everyone eats. But there are 4 types of animals and living things that eat differently. For example, we have the carnivores, which are some animals that eat other animals or species. Okay, they eat something which is called meat. Okay, they can eat fishes, they can eat chicken, and they can eat other animals as well. One example is the lion. This is a lion. Okay, this is a lion. And what does the lion do? Easy. Eat meat. They are carnivores. Now, the second one are herbivores. What does an herbivore do? Easy. There are animals that only eat plants and other elements that are not animals as well. For example, cows eat leaves and bushes. They eat leaves and bushes. You know that the cows doesn't eat animals. They eat plants. Okay? So they eat plants and vegetables. Plants and vegetables. Finally, on the first 3, we have the omnivores. What is an omnivore? Easy. It's an animal or a living thing that can eat both meat and plants to live. So omnivores are the fusion of a carnivore and an herbivore. They can eat both plants and meat. Plants and meat. For example, in your home, when you are lunching, you can eat vegetables and you can eat also meat in the same food. And you don't have any problem because you are omnivore. There are other animals who basically doesn't eat other more than meat or other more than plants. So we're going to the final one, which is plants. What is a plant? How does a plant eat? Well, easy. Plants are heterotrophs. What does it mean, heterotrophs? Basically, heterotroph are animals or living beings that create their own food, okay? And this only happens in plants, okay? It happens by the photosynthesis. And the photosynthesis is the process they have food produced to the sun. So the sun helps the plant to have his own food. So we have four types, sorry, of living things about nutrition. We have omnivores with meat, we have herbivores with plants, and finally we have omnivores with both meats and plants. And as an section, a real section, we have the plants who are heterotrophs. That's what it means, heterotrophs. Now, let's go to the second activity that every living being has to do in order to survive, which is interaction. And what is interaction? Easy, is the act of communicating with your species. Okay, we need this element for three reasons. One, to have food. I mean, you are going to talk to your friend to have food and to eat. Hey, give me some food, please. I'm hungry. Okay, give you. Here up. The second one is to protect us against danger. We're talking about if you are with your friend and you see a lion on the horizon and they're looking at you and they say, I'm going to kill you, boy. So they say, hey, let's go and run away from here because that lion is going to kill us. The third one is to court the females and the species. What is court? Basically, court means about the act of reproduction. When we court, we're talking about to have a boyfriend or have a girlfriend. That's what it means in the animal kingdom to do that. Now, every living thing needs special organs to interact to everyone. For example, we have the eyes, which means it works for seeing enemies, watching from enemies, food, and other elements. We have the ears to hear who is next to us or who is talking to us or who is coming. Even an animal you can eat. We have the mouth. What is the mouth? We use the mouth to communicate, to talk, to speak. Finally, we have the nose that works for smell the food, for example. For smelling the food, for smell something weird, that it helps you to understand that something is going to happen. Now, let's go to the final one, which is reproduction. What is the act of reproduction? Basically, it's to have kids, like you. You were the act of reproduction from your mother and your father. The function of reproduction perpetuates life. What does it mean perpetuates? It makes everyone to live eternally. They are not going to be immortal, but they are going to have children and children from next generations. It maintains the species on the earth for longer than a life of an individual. The DNA from the species will keep alive on future generations. For example, if you are having a cat with white fur, her baby is going to have white fur also. That's the DNA because it is a characteristic of the animal or the person. It happens the same with the people. If your mother has blue eyes, then you are going to have a chance to have blue eyes too. Okay. Now, the main function of reproduction is to live eternally on future generations. Now, we have two types of reproduction. We have the oviparous, which are a species or animals that are born in eggs and they reproduce in that way. Okay, so the babies are going to be inside an egg. For example, birds, eagles, and some others. As you can see on the image, you can see that it's coming from an egg. That's the egg. This is the egg. Now, the other one is the viviparous reproduction. Viviparous. What does it mean, viviparous? Basically, the baby comes from another animal or another living being. So there are animals that are born inside the uterus or other animals. Sorry. Example, cats, dogs, dolphins, and even human beings. For example, as you can see on the image, you can see this is a pregnancy. She's pregnant. And from that pregnancy inside her, a baby comes from her. That's what happened to you. You were inside your mother's belly and you came from that mother's belly and now you are a living person. Now, as a conclusion, we can say the following. We have three elements to conclude. The number one is that every living thing on earth has to eat to stay alive. If you don't eat, you die. Some other animals eat other animals, others just plants, or some others eat both. Now, the second one is all living things interact to their own species to help each other to reproduce and to communicate. Finally, we are talking about all species have to reproduce in order to stay alive for generations. They can be oviparous or viviparous. Don't forget that. So we're talking about nutrition and interaction, and finally we're going to talk about reproduction. If you have any questions about the class, about the topic as well, I'm going to send you a video, additional video that explains this better. And next, when we have class, you are going to ask all the questions you have so I can explain the activity as well. So have a good day. Thank you very much for listening and bye-bye.